showing off a couple of the cards that I've come up with using the January 2018 Hero Arts My Monthly Hero Kit. This kit is Valentine's Day themed. I did an unboxing last week, so a couple of videos ago, or maybe even the last video that I've uploaded. Sometimes I don't upload them in order of how I film them, but it is definitely uploaded, so take a peek. This kit, I will say, I was not super impressed with. I did not find the stamp set to be that inspiring, and it's not that I think anything is wrong with the stamp set itself. I just think that I'm more of a scene builder stamp maker than just having a sentiment and a technique. Oh, let me turn off this light. I forgot that it was on. More than a sentiment and a technique. I like actually building a scene and kind of designing that way. So it's not that I dislike it, it's just that I didn't have as much fun with this one as I did, say, the last one, which was sort of the desert themed, which I had an absolute blast with. So there's nothing wrong with it necessarily, it's just not my cup of tea. So I've been struggling a little bit to come up with some ideas, and also I found that the amount of stuff that you got for the price, I found a little bit lacking, and then I went back onto the website later, and it looks like it's like a $62 value or something. And the last one that I got was like an $80-something value. So it's like a you know, and I don't mean to sound like I'm complaining because I love them, but I'm complaining anyway. You get, you know, with this kit, you only got 3 half pieces of paper with the kit, and some of them have been used, so that's why they're not here, and 2, you know, smaller 5x7 pieces of pattern paper, and some of what I thought was glitter, but it turns out it's actually embossing powder. I was looking later on the website. There's no label on it or anything, so I did not know that it wasn't glitter until I looked on the website, and then I made a label with my label maker. So it's pretty, and I actually used it in one of the cards, so you'll be able to see what that looks like. But, and then of course a packet of sequins. I supplemented a lot of my own. Oh, and it came with some small ink cubes too, and I've already labeled and put those away, so I don't have them here to show off. I ended up supplementing my own supplies to kind of fill in some blanks. I had some of this sort of thin grit, if you will, black glitter cardstock that had gotten a little bit crinkled to the point where I couldn't really use big sheets of it, but I was able to cut it down and use it on some cards and die cut using a bunch of shims through my Cuttlebug. I think my Cuttlebug is slowly dying. I did play around with, this is like my Echo Park, I believe it's called a Christmas stencil, but it's sort of like a buffalo check stencil. So I did some inking, and I haven't quite worked these into cards yet, but it's on the plan. And I made this background using a stencil, and also I was playing around with some of that Delicata ink that I got from Hallmark Scrapbook last week. So I used some of the pink Delicata with the light purple that came with the February kit for kind of a shimmery mermaid scale background, and then I've been playing with just some other stencils as well, making different kinds of backgrounds. So I've been playing a lot. So I don't have a lot of cards to show off. I think I try to aim for at least a dozen cards to make it so that the price of the kit is worth it. I came up pretty short on that and pretty rapidly ran out of steam, ran out of ideas for it, but I have these things out. And I hope to be able to pick this back up. Now I did get an add-on set to go with this set. Let me see if it's up here. Here it is. I did grab the Hero Arts Love Bandit because I absolutely love raccoons. I did get these, and I've stamped them out. I haven't colored them yet, so that's actually one of my plans for later today, is to just sit down with Netflix and do some coloring. So I'm going to work on that, and I have a few other projects that I need to get some coloring out of the way for that. So I'll work on that a little bit later, and this will be a separate card share when I get that far. I'm just not that far yet. So this is just a couple of cards. I think I have 5, maybe 6 cards that I came up with from this kit. So here we go. Here is the share. Oh, okay. So I'll do this one first just because I'm not very bright. You'll see why. So I made a couple of shaker cards, and these are backgrounds similar to this one. I think this is My Favorite Things cloud stencil that I used using the ink that came with the kit, and I made several of the backgrounds and I did them in blue and dark pink as well. And then I used a postage stamp die to cut a window and to turn it into a shaker card. This one in the pink, I used the sequin kit that came with my kit. So I used that one. This is the pink embossing powder on top of the black embossing powder on the bottom. This is how it comes out. Fairly average, nothing exciting. I'll use it up on some other projects. And then of course I just glued some sequins on here. So just pretty basic. The background in the shaker card is some of this black, just scrap pieces of this black glitter cardstock that I was using. And I used some of my stash sequins to do the dark blue in here. And then I thought, oh, I'll use up some of this glitter and I'll put some blue glitter in there. And I didn't realize until I had the card all sealed up that I didn't, when you go to place your foam tape around your edge, I place it just tight enough so that sequins can't get out, but I forgot when I did the tape, I wasn't going to do glitter, and then I forgot, and then I put the glitter in. So every time you shake this, I've got like blue pieces of glitter that just fly out. So annoying. I keep trying to, excuse me, I'm so sorry. I think I'm coming down with something, so my throat just is a little... I keep trying to shake it out over the trash to get more pieces out, but inevitably there's just glitter everywhere, and I'm just, I'm really irritated with this one. There's a reason why I hate using glitter. But anyway, so I came up with a couple of shakers to go with that. And those ones weren't too bad, and I like the way that they came out. I don't like the way that the pink embossing powder layered on top of the black embossing powder came out, but I like the way that the silver on top of the black came out. That one came out nicely. And again, the backgrounds are just some stencil inking, some playing around that I was doing. I wonder if I turn off this light, if we'll get the glare over here. If that'll come off too. I'm so tired of glare. Glare on everything. Is that better? Oh, that's much better. Sort of-ish. So you've got a shadow, but no glare. So those are just some backgrounds that I was playing around with. This next one I would call a big fail as well. Using some of the pattern paper that came with the kit. This is a really nice paper, but a couple of things. I think it has a high like fabric content in it, so I was having a hard time getting the paper to cut. First of all, in my guillotine trimmer, it didn't want to cut, at least the way that I was cutting it, and then I took out my tiny little Carl trimmer, and then it didn't want to cut either. And then because the paper is textured, I was having a hard time getting the heat embossing powder to stay on. So I really don't like the way that this whole thing turned out. This was definitely an experiment, one that I care not to repeat. And then I just put some sequins on it. I'll still use the card. I'll send it to a friend or whatever, but definitely not my favorite. And remind me next time I try to stamp Versamark and heat emboss over a textured paper. Just remind me to not do that. Moving on. This one I don't mind. Again, this is another background that I was just playing around with the different inks that came in the kit and a stencil. So just playing around with the background. This one has some of that black glitter paper that I pulled out of my stash, and remember I said that this had some crinkles in it and stuff. I strategically placed the panel on top of it to cover some of those crinkles, so I still got to use the glitter paper without showing off the flaws. This I just double heat embossed that sentiment as well. There's the black with the silver on top of it again. I really like how that turned out. I do really like that large sentiment. So I had fun with that one. This one was also quite fun. I cut the heart out of the glitter paper. And again, I had to use a shim, multiple shims to get it to go through my Cuddle Bug, and then multiple passes through to get it to cut. I really need to replace the Cuddle Bug soonish, I think. And then I just die cut out of the pink paper that came with the kit, the pink pearlized paper that came with the kit. I die cut several, I think I actually did 3, and I probably cut the other ones off and discarded that part, and then layered those up and glued them together. I did try, here's another fail. I did try running these different layers through my Xyron sticker maker because I thought it would be easier than trying to glue on the little pieces, and I'm still not convinced that either the sticker maker isn't working right, or I'm not working it right, or something. It doesn't appear to be that difficult to understand. You put it on there and you crank it through, and then it comes out the other side and it's a sticker. But it came out the other side, and there wasn't, like, there was just a couple of little sticker spots here and there. There wasn't enough to even, like, it just, the adhesive just got on a few different spots. So I don't know if that's defective. It's not all that old. I think it's maybe, what, 5 weeks since I've gotten the refill for the Xyron, so the adhesive can't be that expired, can it? That, I don't know. It wasn't working, so I ended up using my Ranger matte medium and just very painstakingly glued all the layers together, and then made this dimensional die cut for the front. And I heat embossed on the bottom of the matching, so that the pinks would match, heat embossed Sending Love on the bottom here, and this is all set atop a piece of the black glitter cardstock. This is probably my favorite one out of all of them. I might end up sending this one to somebody special. And I think the last one that I have to show off for right now is another one that I kind of pieced together with some scraps. Here's that heart, that lacy heart die cut, and again I had to shim it numerous times to get through. I cut this out of the scraps of another page that I actually had failed. I was doing an experiment using some of the pink Delicata and some of the other colors on another page that I was just sort of free trying to blend ink, and it didn't come out all that great, so I die cut the heart from it just to, you know, so that the whole paper wasn't a total waste. And then the sentiments heat embossed on these postage stamps, which are just the positive spaces from where I cut out of these backgrounds to make the shaker cards. And this wasn't popping enough, this die cut, so I actually covered it with some of my Spectrum Noir shimmer pen to get that to pop a little bit. So this one came out okay, and I thought it was just a fun way to use up some of the scraps from some other stuff that I was experimenting on. So that's pretty much all that I have come up with. It's not that I hate the kit, I'm just not having as much fun with this one. And I'm going to use up some more stuff, and I'll show you guys what else I come up with. But I kind of lost a lot of steam and a lot of interest with this kit, which is really unfortunate because I look forward to it so much. I'm going to keep it out though, and I'm going to keep looking at it. Valentine's Day is still like 3 or 4 weeks away. Plenty of time to come up with some other ideas. So I'm going to keep looking at it, and I've got these other supplies, and that's what I got. So I think that the next month, the February kit's probably going to ship sooner than the January one did. I think it's just because of the holiday they were about a week behind or whatnot. So definitely look for another video showing off some of the cards that I will make with the Love Bandit. Adorable. I love raccoons. And then I may or may not get to some more of these at another time. But anyway, so that is what I have. Thanks for your attention, and have a great day. Bye-bye.